Morning everybody from sunny South Wales. Those of you listening in the Rhondda and in Australia. I just want to talk about a word that I just feel I need to share with you this morning. I've noticed again as the coronavirus is raging across our world, there's lots of people struggling, obviously because they've lost their jobs or because they have to go into work and they're afraid. And I noticed on the faces of lots of people a sense of hopelessness, a sense that they just don't know when this is going to end. And so I wanted to share a very important word this morning, this word hope. One man has said, hope is the antidote to fear. Without belief, we would be left with nothing but an overwhelming doom day after endless day. And there's a kind of cloud of doom over us, a sadness. We're all hoping, aren't we, that before long they'll have an antidote, they'll have a vaccine to prevent the virus. They're hoping to have a test before long to run out to everybody so that we can discover whether or not we've had the virus or not. So we're hoping that soon things will get better. But sometimes things get worse before they get better. And I've noticed that as long as things are really hopeful, hope is a mere flattery or a platitude. It's only when everything is hopeless that hope begins to be a strength at all. Do you know that human beings can live about 40 days without food, about 3 days without water, and about 8 minutes without air? But someone has said we can only live 1 minute without hope. Those who've been inmates of prison camps, internment camps during wartime, say that hope is an important ingredient in keeping them alive. The tiniest ray of hope, the rumour of better food, or the whisper of an escape keeps people going, even under systematic horror. But prisoners do not live very long if they don't have hope. And we need hope at this time. The dictionary definition of hope is a favourable and confident expectation, a happy anticipation of the good. So we're all hoping that before long, good will come and we'll see light at the end of the tunnel. The Bible talks a lot about hope. It says that we are born anew to a living hope. I discovered this verse this morning when I was doing my reading. It says this: it is impossible that God should prove false. We have fled for refuge. We who have fled for refuge might have strong encouragement to seize the hope that is set before us. So I'm encouraging you this morning to seize the hope that's in God. Do you know that God is spoken of as the God of hope? He's the author of it, not the subject of it. It says in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 9, if for this life only we have hoped in Christ, we are of all people most miserable. Romans 5:2 says, we rejoice in our hope of sharing the glory of God. So I'm asking you this morning to seize the hope that's in God, in Christ. Grab hold of Him. In the hopelessness of our situation, you can find hope and trust in Him. I was reading this morning about two people who came to Jesus as their last hope. You'll find the story in the Gospels, and the word gospel means good news. And boy, do we need good news today in the midst of all the darkness. And Jesus steps off a boat after going across the Sea of Galilee, and he finds a man waiting for him. His name is Jairus. He's a rabbi, a ruler of the synagogue, and he comes to Jesus and he says, my daughter is at the point of death. If you come home to my house, I know you'll make her well. Now this man was an eminent man in the community. He had a position of authority. He was well respected, as I'm sure. He had tried everything to find his daughter an answer, to find a solution to her sickness. But he couldn't find it. And so Jesus was his last chance saloon, if you like, his last ray of hope, his last glimmer of light in the darkness. And Jesus begins to go to his house. And as Jesus is on the way, we told there's a woman with a last hope. We are told she had an issue of blood, a hemorrhage, for 12 years. And she'd been isolated because of her condition. She couldn't have social interaction. She couldn't have any travel. She had the same kind of restrictions as we got today. She had no social contact, no travel. And there we are told, she grabs hold of Jesus' hem of his garment. She actually leaps, if you like, in the dark, because he's her last hope. 12 years she was a pale shadow woman, emaciated because of the blood loss. She knew that the only hope was Jesus. Both Jairus and this woman had heard what Jesus could do, and they knew he was their last hope. And amazingly, for both of those, for that lady and that gentleman, as he went to Jairus' house, the daughter was made well. Jesus reached out his hand and said, "Talitha cumi, little girl, I say to you, arise." And she rose up. And the lady, after 12 years of sickness, spending all her money on doctors, was instantly made well. And Jesus says, "Daughter," the only time in the Bible he calls someone daughter, "Daughter, your faith has made you well." So these people came to Jesus in a hopeless state, not knowing where to turn, and came to him, and he changed their darkness to light. He changed their life completely because they trusted him. They put their hope in him. So today, in a seeming hopelessness, I don't know your situation. You may be struggling right now with sickness, struggling with isolation, struggling because you can't go home to your family, struggling because you've got to go to work, and you're afraid that you're going to take something back home to your family. So I want to encourage you today to put your hope in Christ, to put your hand in his hand, and he'll help you through this time. He is the hope in the hopelessness. He is our strength in our weakness. We say, hope springs eternal, don't we? We say, where there's life, there's hope, don't we? I'm saying today, hope in Christ. He is the answer in these difficult times. Thank you for listening today, and I trust you'll be with us tomorrow. I pray, Lord, that you will be with everyone, whatever country they're in right now, whatever problem they're facing, whatever situation they're in or they're going to. May they put their hand in yours and discover that you are the Lord of hopefulness. You are the Lord that we can trust. Amen.